it's not just about taking existing content and turning it into other stuff. I think it's also about taking your themes and your overall brand messaging and finding new ways, new and fresh ways to reiterate that. It's not about you saying something specific that one person will understand. It's about saying something specific that a lot of people will find true, whether or not they relate to that exact thing. It catches your eye, it's easy to understand. You don't need a ton of context to be able to extract value from it. Those are the things that I think are the most impactful. Most often, your readers or your audience, they're not thinking about your topics as deeply as you are, right? They spend little energy on that. If you are finding a couple of different ways to say the same thing in a way that's easy to understand, that's just going to resonate more with your audience, or it's going to increase the likelihood that they resonate with it. Ultimately, what matters is that that piece of content gets read. It doesn't really matter whether it's on your website, even though that's preferable. But if somebody can get most of the value, or at least half the value from your blog post case study as, on the Twitter thread, then by all means do that. People aren't scrolling through Twitter in hopes of leaving Twitter, right? They're hoping to learn there. They're not thinking about your company. They're not thinking about the solutions that you bring. They're just trying to scroll and probably learn. Maybe what they want is to understand just one really novel, truly interesting insight that they hadn't learned before, and then they'll decide for themselves, you know what, I need to listen to the rest of the show. I actually do think that ultimately you get more bang for your buck when you take the approach that you mentioned about focusing on repackaging the content. I believe that is always going to make you win in the long run versus going for the well-known name. I think it's nice to go for the well-known name. It's nicer for some of the quick wins of being able to say, hey, I had so-and-so on my show, which is great. But when you are creating content that you want to establish credibility and authority and trust, it's always going to come down to the quality of content and the ways in which you can share and repackage those insights. When you respect your audience and really care about their needs and their wants and what they helping them achieve what they hope to achieve, then it becomes easier to make these things, to have more fun with these things.